Have you read Revelation 2? This begins the messages to the seven churches from Jesus. The first church is Ephesus, which has both the good and the bad, the pros and the cons. Here we are in Revelation 2, verses 2 through 4. I know your works, your labor, and your endurance, and that you cannot tolerate evil people. You have tested those who call themselves apostles and are not, and you have found them to be liars. I know that you have persevered and endured hardships for the sake of my name, and you have not grown weary. But I have this against you. You have abandoned the love you had at first. There certainly are some good things going on at the church of Ephesus. The works, the labor, the endurance, the non-tolerance of evil people, sorting out the false teachers or apostles, finding out that they're lying. Through it all, they have not grown weary. They were a new church in a hostile environment, yet they stood their ground. And then there is the exception. Their love is not the same. They've grown cold, abandoned, left, or walked away from the love they displayed in the beginning. Love, that's the question, right? The NLT translated as a love for God and the love for one another, for their fellow brothers and sisters. One of the study helps noted that it could also convey a loss of love for the lost around them, the lost in Ephesus. A love that was once strong has faded. It shows. Football players, golfers, baseball players, and even motorcycle riders need to return and practice the basics of what they do. Batting, tackling, swinging, awareness on a consistent basis. We tend to drift away from what got us here in the first place. So it was for the people of Ephesus. Love needed to return. They needed to love God, they needed to love one another, and they needed to love their neighbor in order to be the church that God intended them to be. How are you doing? Are you loving like you should? How are we doing as a church body? Has our love for one another faded? Do we love our neighbors enough to tell them about Jesus? Keep reading, encourage others to read, and expect to find more gems to help us live like Jesus. Thank you.